Hey, everybody, welcome to Maneaters series. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I have an awesome guest, Maddie Deering. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Not as good as I was 2 seconds ago, right? Um, so, anyway, I just want to talk about this movie, this 2 hour and 39 minute movie we just watched, Shark Swarm. Good God. All right. Well, I'm gonna say this though, because I told you before I couldn't finish it the first time we were supposed to
Yeah.
do it, and then I just did finish it today. I had like 40 minutes left or so, and that 40 minutes actually went pretty quickly. Those last 40 minutes, it's like when they're coming out of the, they just get out of the cage, go back on the boat, blah blah blah, and then they have to deal with all these shark swarms coming toward the thing, which I thought was ridiculous. But
The whole
uh,
movie was ridiculous.
right, and that's
All those sharks.
it's so funny too because that movie is a like has the biggest star cast I think that was it sci-fi has ever had, you know?
It had a pretty, yeah, it did have a pretty good cast. Kind of surprising considering it
Right?
was like one of those I feel like made for TV mini series type of movies. And I don't know if it was a mini series. I'm not that familiar with the Maneater series, but that's how it felt.
All the rest of the Maneater series aren't like mini series. Like this is the longest that they've had. I'm actually kind of surprised, but maybe that was the plan to make it a mini series, sort of like you mentioned before to me, movies like Creature and stuff
Yeah,
like Peter Benchley's Creature. And I know
I'm
you
a
have
huge
a
fan of that.
yeah, you have a fondness for these kind of made for TV
Yeah.
movies.
And like some of the Stephen King ones, like The Langoliers or The Shining, which was the Shining miniseries, which I used to really enjoy. It's been a while, but
Or The
it,
Stand, you know.
yeah, The Stand. They used to pump these miniseries out like nothing back in the day.
Yeah, it
On
used to be a staple, but now
yeah,
it's not as big now. But even so, this movie, maybe this movie killed it. I don't know, because maybe there hasn't been a miniseries since this movie. It was like, they're like, oh no, Shark Swarm just destroyed the fact of doing another horror miniseries. Because nobody wants was it John Schneider and Daryl Hannah and freaking F. Murray Abraham. I still to this day, and I don't want to know what his like first name is. I just want to the love of God for every day of my life. I want to call him F. You know, if I ever meet him, wait, he's still alive, right? I'm pretty sure he is.
I think so.
Okay, if I ever meet him, I want to go, hey F, how are you doing? You know,
I'm sure he
just
hears that a lot.
well, I mean, what else are you gonna call him, Murray? You know, um, I mean, because I have a good friend of mine, G. Larry Butler, and we call him Larry. I don't call him G. Like what? Well, I could. I'd be like, "What's up, G?"
Like
That
G Unit,
G Unit. But
number one in the hood. G.
but not or I could call FFU. But I won't for this movie because he actually was really good. I liked him in this movie. Um, I enjoyed him. I enjoyed Armand Asante too, but I feel like for a villain, he was really like boring. You know, like he didn't really. I guess the villains were technically the sharks, right?
Yeah,
But
but I mean, also, yeah, because they were poisoning the ocean life to try to kill the fish, fishing. So
yeah,
they
so
were
they
pretty
they
much
take
villains.
take it to non-fishing town, and instead they just created a shark swarm, I
So
guess.
they could build a fucking hotel or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick. There's This really felt like two different movies, honestly. Like and both movies are interesting, but like two different movies, Like the first movie is the sharks and some of that stuff which is like there's not as many shark swarm stuff as there should be. Then there's for especially for a movie that's 2 hours and 39 freaking minutes. I was expecting a lot more shark swarming. Um,
Yeah.
but the most of the movie is set on the island or on the in this small town that's getting taken over by a guy who just wants to to build hotels or whatever,
Yeah. He just wants to be a big tourist attraction.
which I mean, and then most of the people are agreeing, oh, this is a great idea for our
Oh,
town.
I know.
And I'm like, really? Like
Most
most
of the people in the town aren't very bright, so
I know. And except for John Schneider and Daryl Hannah, they're smarty pants. Right there. Their whole time they're just trying to argue with everybody, and people are like, and it's so funny because you ever watch those sci-fi movies? Like I just watched Sea Beast, and we just reviewed
I've never
that.
seen the Beast.
And there was like the bit where they're in the bar or whatever, and he's trying to explain to the town that there's these creatures and stuff. The sheriff is trying to explain to the people in the town, and the people are like, "What do you know? You don't know anything," to people, And I'm like, do we have to have these scenes with the people just like bickering about, like that there's not these creatures that are killing people, like, you know?
They
Um,
learn eventually, but that's how it always goes until
I
it's
know.
too late.
I was so sad that there wasn't a scene with the people. Actually, there was. I take that back. There was a scene at the end where they go and try to tell people, which I was like, why is he running to the pier where they're not on the water? They're not like in the water, right? And they're like, get off the pier, get off the pier. And I'm like, the sharks aren't going to jump on the fucking pier. Like what is this? Like, what is he scared about? Like, and then there's like one bit where they're like, I'm gonna throw you in the sheriff is telling him he's gonna throw him in the water, and I'm like, like, what is wrong with these people in this town? Fucking, this is like,
Like they're giving the mayor or whatever is giving that big speech, and then they interrupt and yeah, everything.
yeah, and then
And he's like, "Yeah, everything's fine."
and dude, do you think there really is a freaking thing in the water like that a little like contraption that can make sharks just go away?
Yeah,
Like,
I've never heard of such a thing, but I was like, "What the fuck?" Like that's how they. And I love like the. I mean, I guess this is a spoiler, but I guess we're allowed to
oh
give
yeah,
spoilers. Like, he's like, "Oh yeah, you defeated the shark swarms, whatever," because they had this stupid fucking gun or whatever the hell it is. That what did they say it was in the movie? I don't even
I
remember.
forgot what it was called, but they were like,
Exactly.
and like, but it's okay because I love those kind of things. I love little contraptions that can like,
Yeah.
make you like trackers, and stuff, or things that make them repel animals and stuff.
Like the
My
shark repellent in Batman the movie with Adam West.
my
That's what
favorite
they needed.
exactly the shark repellent. Speaking of Batman, it does sort of remember the shark in Batman, and was it Batman fighting the shark? That's
Oh yeah.
exactly the scene in freaking where with the I forgot what his name was, Kale or something. And then that was his
Kane.
Kane. Kane is like
Yeah.
punching the fucking sharks, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's punching a shark and they're just running away from him and stuff. Like, is he that powerful that he can just punch sharks? Like, I want to be that powerful, like, I'm the shark puncher.
It's fitting that his name was Kane. That just sounds like someone who would punch a shark.
I bet Kane Hodder would punch a shark.
Yeah, exactly. We need a shark movie with Kane Hodder.
Dude, they haven't made one of those, have they?
Not that I know
Oh
of.
my God, I want that. Make that happen, Sci-Fi Channel. Cast Kane Otter as he could be the sheriff of the town. He could be the bad guy. That's whatever.
Literally can play anything.
Yeah, he could play
He
anything.
could play the shark.
I mean, that's a different movie right there. But
I'd still watch it.
yeah, that's going a little lower budgeted. Idea. It's like we can't afford CGI. Let's put Kane in the shark suit. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to watch that because I actually like when Kane actually acts. Like
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
Kane's
people just want
awesome.
to see him as the silent killer and stuff in the mask. I'm
No,
like,
he's awesome.
put him in a put him in a good scene where he's fighting a shark. Like I want that. Like that would be my movie. If I get a chance to work for sci-fi ever, that's my movie. You
Oh,
know,
please.
I'll cast Kane as the guy, the hero has to fight the sharks off. Because if anyone can do it, Kane Hodder could.
Exactly. I'm
Um,
sold.
yep. But Daryl Hannah was surprisingly pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, I
Not,
thought she did a good
no, I
job.
mean, like surprisingly because like this is a very lower budgeted movie than what she probably is used to doing. She
Yeah,
probably got paid pretty damn well though for this. I bet that's where all the money really went was to paying her.
definitely not to the shark CGI effects.
Was there really like CGI effects in it though? It was mainly I thought they used it looked like they used real sharks.
Oh, there were some bad CGI effects,
Okay, it's like maybe
especially like in certain scenes, not in all of it, but in certain scenes, it was
yeah.
kind of cringeworthy.
That's probably the problem with the movie is it's like so long that I can't remember everything that fucking happened in it.
Well, me neither. Like I was trying to remember Wilder. That was the name of like because there was like I like the main character's like brother, the professor, and he kept flirting with I think her name was Amy in the movie or something.
Right, and then at the end, I
His
guess they
like
started.
pickup lines and stuff, they made me laugh.
Well, and then at the end, she like saves his life or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she like brings him back to life or whatever at the end, like sort of, which I get confused and I thought she shot him. Did
My
she
God,
shoot
I can't
him?
even remember.
Thought she shot him, and then like all of a sudden she brought him back up and everything, and then she revived him, and I'm like so confused as to what was going on. But no, it was such a the whole movie itself was sort of fun. It was fun. Like it was
Yeah.
just not it wasn't meant to be, but honestly, I was talking about this because we did Sea Beast. I was talking about this then, and there, I was like, oh, I haven't seen a really bad Maneaters movie yet, and this is probably my least favorite so far.
Mhm.
No, maybe my second least favorite. My least favorite, I think, is Eye of the Beast, but this is second least favorite. And Eye of the Beast is because a lot of it's just really boring. Which
Yeah.
this I think this suffers from it too because I feel like they've got so much padding in the movie that it just like
Oh
drives me
yeah.
nuts. Like they could cut like probably half the movie and it would be a normal like length and it would be fun to me. Like
I just wasn't as bored as I thought I'd be for being like a 3 hour movie. Because I was really dreading watching it. And I started watching it. I don't know. Like I agree with you, obviously. It's a 3 hour movie. You can cut a lot of stuff out, or 2.5, whatever. You can cut a lot of stuff out, but I still didn't find it as boring as I honestly expected it to.
well, I think the ending really suffered because it had the three different spots they had to go to or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it because like they had three different sets of people and that's why they had, because like that's very odd that all of a sudden they had enough people to do this, or whatever. So like John Schneider's going to the pier, freaking the other two are going to the I guess the I don't know, the one area with all the surfers, and
Yeah.
stuff. And then what's Dale Hannah is going to the baptism. And I almost laughed. Like I think I did laugh when they said my favorite bit in that part is like, he goes, okay, there's the pier, and I'm like, oh my god, the centennial is happening right now, or whatever it was, the whatever it was, like the big thing on the pier. Everybody's gonna be on the pier. Oh my goodness. And then she's like, oh, and this part, oh my god, that's where the baptism is happening. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, every single thing is happening at the
At
same
once.
time and there's like a million people at once that are all going to be around. Like it just, it was like, and then they had to keep showing it, right?
Yeah. And
Show it.
the baptism made me laugh really hard actually, because it's just like, of course that's going on.
Well, it's not just that. It's like, it was so corny and cheesy. The little girl's like, I don't want to go because there's a monster.
Oh my
And then,
god, I know. And the parents are like, "Oh, you have to go. We like paid for your birthday party. You want to have it at the beach."
And then she
And
but
the
like
lifeguard got eaten, and the little girl's like, "Oh, there's."
yeah. Well, no, no. I was talking about at the end with the other little girl, and she's like, "I don't want to go in the water." That because wow, they happened twice. God, I forgot
That
about
happened
that.
twice because I remember the little girl, and
I think
like
it's
she
the
went out with
same
the
little girl.
lifeguard.
Yeah, it's the same little girl because they had paid her for her birthday, but then she was there at the baptism. God, like I forgot that was the same little girl because I hadn't seen
I
it.
forgot it was the same little girl too.
And so she's like, "There's a monster in there," and they're like, "Oh, well, you know what? You're gonna be the only one on the beach.
I
You're
know.
gonna be all by yourself." And I'm like, "You're guilt tripping a little girl who's obviously traumatized by."
Her parents were fucking dicks.
I know. And then so she's like, and then she's all caring about her parents at the end. She's like, "Bilby, save my parents. And I'm like, I hope they fucking die. But they
I
didn't.
know.
Um, but they didn't. They didn't. They survived, and then she goes, "Told you so." And I'm like, this is such like a
Sassy
cheesy,
AF.
like it's such a cheesy, like sci-fi type line, like they have to have that little kid who has to go and prove to, whatever. I was
Exactly.
laughing my ass off more than I was probably like I should be. Like I think that was supposed to be sort of serious scene, and
Probably, but
it
that's why
wasn't.
it's so funny.
I know. See, those are always the best ones when they don't intentionally make it funny, but
Exactly.
it's hilarious. A lot of B movies do that, and this, I don't know. I guess this was technically a B movie because the actors are B movie actors now. Like, I mean, what has Daryl Hannah been in since?
God, I haven't
You know,
seen her in anything in a long time.
I mean, the only thing I ever really remember her from is Death Becomes Her. I think she was in that, right? Or is that Meryl Streep? It's Meryl Streep. I think was it
Meryl
both?
Streep.
Was it both? I swear
Yep.
to God.
I know Meryl Streep is in Death Becomes Her, and I can't remember if Daryl Hannah
No, well,
was.
she was in Kill Bill and
Yeah, Kill
Slash,
Bill.
and she's had a great career. But now I feel dumb for saying Death Becomes Her. But I swear to God, I thought she was in that with because there's two women in Death Becomes Her. Oh nope, it doesn't look
I,
like it. I'm
who was the other one? I should know this actually.
Death Becomes Her. Goldie Hawn. Why do I get
Oh,
Goldie Hawn?
duh.
Why do I get Goldie Hawn and Daryl Hannah mixed up? I don't know. I do that all
Don't
the time.
insult Goldie Hawn. Like,
It's
no,
true.
sort
But
of.
I thought, I swear to God, though, Daryl Hannah did. I mean, it was like she, it's like she took it as serious, like this was really like a real movie, But I mean, it was, but it really wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it's a movie about sharks swarming and killing people. Like it's not,
Exactly.
and on top of that, like the scene with Kane on the in the boat. And okay, I had to talk about that because I was thinking about it. That drove me nuts. That whole scene. I'm like, how is John Schneider secretly walking around and they can't see him? Like, how big is that fucking boat? It did not look that big. Like they did not, they couldn't tell it was him. And then he snuck around and he attacked, or whatever. And I was like, oh God, this is terrible. I'm hoping everybody gets eaten at this point.
Yeah.
And of course, Dale Hannah and they couldn't start the boat. They have to leave the boat, but they left Kane. Now, is he dead or is he alive? Because they
I
left
think he's
him.
dead. Or is there a sequel coming? I'm sure you want it. You could make a sequel.
I don't think I can make a sequel. I don't think there was a call for a sequel. I think they realized it was way too long and nobody wants a sequel because now you have to outdo that first one. You have to make it
Oh, good
longer.
luck.
So you have to make a 5 hour long movie.
Oh, God.
5 hour long Shark Swarm 2.
Can we talk about the daughter and her surfer boyfriend?
Real quick, Shark Swarm 2, even swarmier. That's the title.
I dig it. Make it happen.
All right, and what was the about the daughter?
And her surfer boyfriend.
the love interest angle there just bored me because I'm like, does
Yeah,
everybody
they had
have to
no
have a fucking
chemistry at all.
does everybody have to have a love angle, like love interest thing? I mean, you already have the wife and the mother and father. You have the uncle who's got his relationship thing going. You've got the fucking Kane has his relationship going. You have that random woman that keeps watching. Like, did you ever notice that there's a woman that's in Shark Swarm that just keeps staring at him, what is it, the bad guy, Hamilton,
So I
Lux,
can't
and
remember.
I don't know if she was like his girlfriend or something or whatever, but this woman just kept staring like she was like into him and whatever, and she was like all like whatever, and I'm like, so there's another little angle too, like there's so many like love interest thing going on, and I'm like, that's just too much. I understand it's 2.5 hours long. You have to put a lot more stuff in there, but Jesus, let's tone it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was ridiculous. I was unimpressed by the love interest stuff, and the surfer guy was terrible.
The
You know,
surfer guy's like, yeah, come on, you got to go in the water. Let's go deeper in.
and
Learn how
then
to surf.
yeah, and then she's
They
like,
had no
"Oh my
chemistry.
god,
It was
wait for me," like let me catch up to you and go die. That's pretty much what it was. Like let's set it up where, oh no, the father, because I knew they are they televised it. I knew that when she was going to be with the boy, the surfer guy, she was going to go in the water, and
well,
then the
yeah.
father will have to somehow find her. And I'm like, how is that going to work? And then they make it so all the swarms are coming, toward the land or whatever, and I'm like, why? Like, why is that even happening? Like, it didn't make any sense. It's like
A
all the
lot of
shark
things.
swarms are like, let's go closer to land. Like, it made no sense. Like, that's what this like tagline should be for this. Because the tagline is "Feel the shiver."
Is that the tagline?
Uh, Feel
Oh
the
my
shiver.
god, that's awful.
And
Who
then,
came up with
oh
that?
wow, that's on the back. On the front, it says "Fear travels in packs." Okay, what? Fear travels in packs.
That's amazing.
That is fucking horrible. Oh god. Ugh. This movie.
They didn't give a fuck. They were just like, whatever.
It's a people are gonna buy it. It's a Daryl Hannah movie. She was in
It's a
Kill
shark
Bill.
movie. People are gonna buy it. Come on.
That's true. That's what they're saying. Shark movie, and not Daryl Hannah. Because
People like me.
Yeah. Well, you have your own shitty shark show, so surprised this
Exactly.
hasn't been on there yet.
Oh God.
You
I
just
don't know.
watched it for
Then
the
I'd have
first
to watch it
time.
again.
You just watched it for the first time. Like
I know.
I'm kind of disappointed. I thought this would be like on the top of your like shitty shark show list. Now I guess eventually it will be.
Eventually.
It's terrible, but it's sort of fun enough where if you just shut your brain off and you just go, okay, that's happening now. Like why was John Schneider not calling the sheriff himself? Why was he like, why did he call his wife, right? And tell her to go, okay, does this make any sense to you? Like, he's like on the phone and he's like talking to his wife and he's like, hey, can you go and tell the sheriff that I'm down here, here, and they're blah, 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 doing this, right? And then she's like, I think she even says like, why can't you, right? And then he's like, cause I'm kind of busy at the moment or whatever, right? Cause he's like, he's
But he has
watching
time to
them,
call her.
but he has time to call her to tell her to call the people. Like, I think that was like literally they were like, oh, we need another scene with Daryl Hannah. Okay, hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Like, like that was
Let's
literally
get as much out of her as we can. I don't know.
most of this shit did not make any sense. This movie just, I think that should have been the tagline, Shark Swarm. This won't make any sense, but you'll still buy it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you'll still watch it. It doesn't matter, you know? Like that
It
should,
was kind of cool. Like there were a lot of sharks, like just kind of swimming around. I mean, they didn't.
it's
I don't
true.
know.
There was
The
a lot of
attacks and
sharks.
stuff could have been better. It could have been better, but there were a lot of sharks swimming around. And when they put them in the cage and put them under, I mean, that wasn't too bad.
I have
It had its
never,
moments.
okay, I was sort of disappointed though, because there was that scene with like the guy in the float, you know, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh man. So did Meg rip that scene off where they have the scene where they like shoot up top and the shark is coming up from under the right, and they didn't do it. They didn't shoot that scene, and I'm like, see, that's where they made a mistake. That would have been an awesome trailer shot. Is like the shark coming
Yeah.
up and the guy just sitting there going, "La di da," and just got eaten. Oh, so there you go. Wow, shark swarm. Um, you know, you know, I don't know what I can say else. Like it had so much going on in it. If we actually just broke it down, it would take us like probably 2.5 hours to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
And I watched it like last week, so I
yeah.
already forgot. That's the thing. It's not that memorable. It's just another shark movie. I think it's a good movie to put on. You're doing housework, you're doing whatever, background noise.
Yeah, you're
You don't
writing.
really have to pay attention because who cares? But you can
Yeah,
look up once in a while and be like, okay, whatever.
there's a shark. Awesome.
Yeah.
And literally, you should probably do that because most of the time, the stuff that's happening that's non-shark related is just boring. Like who cares? Like it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what happens to Lux? Like what happened to him? Nothing. You know, at the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bad guy doesn't win, but he doesn't lose. Just nothing happens. It's just like the sharks come. Does he get eaten? I don't remember, but I don't
I
think
don't
he got
remember.
eaten. I don't think he got eaten, but it didn't matter. Like literally, like it's just like it was like okay, And how can people not like? That's another thing is I was talking to you about Sea Beast. Just people just arguing with people about this stuff. I'm like, these people know what they're fucking talking about. Why are you listening to them? You know, like why are you not believing them?
It was in the script.
I, that's true. Can't argue with that. That logic right there. That's oh my god. That annoys me the most is just when people write something in the script and it just makes absolutely no sense. But they're
Oh yeah.
you know, it was it was there was a line that reminded me of there was a line. Can you hear that?
I hear it.
Okay, dogs are
I
swarming.
thought I saw a cat or
No, it's
something on
two
the couch.
dogs. They're
It was a
they're
dog.
swarming each other right now.
Oh, well, Dog Swarm. There's your
That
sequel.
there's your sequel on Dog Swarm. So like what is it? What was I saying? So an Alien Resurrection. Uh Joss Whedon started getting really upset because he wrote Alien Resurrection, and the director was French, didn't understand a lot of things, and he had to be
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff had to be like interpreted to him or whatever. And so his when like Joss would say, "Why did he do that? Why did that happen? Why is this going on?" They would say, "Because it's in the script." And he was like, "No, it's not." Like I didn't write that. That's not what I intended for this. Right? And so it's just funny because this movie, um, was like I don't know what was in the script, but apparently a lot of like BS boring shit was in the script because it was that's what it was to me. It was just a boring, sort of boring, like other than the shark swarms itself, which, like I said, I mean, it wasn't even half the movie, you know.
No.
So like they should have done more with the movie called Shark Swarm. But the problem with movies like shark swarm and like Jaws and shark movies, you know this because you watch a lot of them.
I
Um,
do.
the biggest problem with the movie is how do you get them in the water? You know, like
Oh yeah.
most of the time, the problem is like, okay, if you're writing a shark movie and then the people are like, don't go in the water because there's a shark in there. Generally, people are going to do what in real life? What are they going to do?
Stay away from the water.
Right. So like literally that's the problem with shark movies is like, and then you get movies like Sharknado where there's a tornado coming on land and it's bringing all the sharks. So I'm like, okay, I can get that because like you're not like nobody goes, man, I wonder if there's going to be a shark tornado today. Like it's not something planned, so you have to deal with it. But when you're
Exactly.
like in the beach and you hear shark, you get your ass out of there. So movies like Shark Swarm, where the sharks are out in God knows where in the ocean, and they're dealing with this shit, like it's I just like you have to figure out a way to get them in the water. And so whenever I see somebody goes overboard, like the bad guy goes overboard, I'm like, he's gonna get eaten. Like that's and if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be mad because I want that to
Exactly.
happen, like um but yeah, anyway, it's one of those movies where just some of the stuff didn't make any sense, but they were probably like, okay, we're on land most of the time. How do we get them in the water? You
Hmm.
know? And then they get them in the water. Then they're like, hey, let's have all those sharks just swarm the freaking beaches. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because like it's not like they're being programmed. See, it would have worked if Hamilton Lux had some kind of thing where he was programming all the sharks to come, you know?
Yeah.
It's some like way to just call
Instead,
them.
it was some type of like poisonous stuff that made him go crazy, right? Or
Right.
something.
So that's kind of boring. But like if they had some kind of thing where it's like because F. Murray Abraham's character, the professor, he had a whole thing where like he could see where all the sharks were, where all the shark swarms
Yeah,
were coming.
on the
He could see where they
computer.
were coming, where they were going, and I'm like, see if um and Lux was like the most, the richest guy there. Why didn't he have some kind of thing that could make the sharks come or control the sharks? That would have been cool. But unfortunately, they didn't have me writing it. They had who wrote it? David Rosiak and Michael Chernoff. And you know what's really sad is speaking of Joss Whedon, James A. Contner directed this movie. And James A. Contner's done Buffy and Angel and I think maybe even
I didn't
Firefly.
realize
Like
that.
what?
I didn't realize who the director was or what he's done.
So he's a really good TV director. So he was
Yeah.
perfect for this movie. It's just sadly like other than, and I think he also did Smallville, and that makes sense of him asking John Schneider to be the main star of it, and everything.
Yeah.
So he's a great director for this movie. Like I mean, the acting was fantastic. I'm not gonna like I can't get mad at any of the actors, even if they say stupid lines. They did it as well as they could, and made
Exactly.
and made
They didn't have
sense.
much material to work with.
I think, and that's the thing. If you have a really good actor, you know, they can make your shitty script believable with the acting, you know.
Hmm.
But then your director has to make the shitty script sort of make sense. And I think that's where it got lost.
Yeah.
This episode might be one of the longest ones we've done, just like this movie was the longest one ever, maybe. I was thinking it was gonna be the shortest. I thought I was gonna be like when I was watching, I was gonna be like, because I started watching, it, got bored to death, and I was like, oh god, I'm not
I
gonna
can
have
talk sharks
anything.
all day.
I was like, I'm not gonna have anything to talk about in this. And of course I did have a lot to talk about. Because it's just sort of a boring movie. Like, but it had points that like made me go, what the fuck? Just is like, what is going on here? Why did that happen? And I think also, and you're a filmmaker too, so you know this, but when you're making a film and other people are involved, not just yourself, you know,
Yeah.
Um, too many cooks can spoil the soup, you know?
Oh
And
yeah.
I feel like maybe that's also happened. There's two writers, maybe they're arguing, couldn't get anything together, and then they work together and they made this as, and then they give it to a director and the director goes, "Okay, we're going to do this, we're going to change that, we're going to make this work," and then maybe eventually it just kind of becomes this like
Big mess.
big mess of a movie that doesn't make any sense because too many people are saying this. Like maybe sci-fi had certain things they needed done in the movie. Maybe that's why there's so many love interests, because sci-fi was like, you know what? Maybe they the daughter should have a boyfriend,
Gotta
and
appeal to this and that.
and that's another thing that annoys me, when how many people like fall in love so quickly in these things.
I
All of a
know.
sudden they're like all for each other. But whatever happened to that boy? Whatever happened to the surfer? Did he live? I don't remember.
I think he lived.
I
I'm
think
pretty
he
sure
lived.
he
I think he
lived.
was helping the girl, and then the father came along and saved both of them or
Yeah,
whatever.
I remember. I think the father and the surfer were like cool with each other or something. Like, oh, okay, you can date my daughter.
I mean, they're
Type of
all
thing.
blonde. Did you ever notice that? Like how many fucking
Yeah.
blonde people are in this freaking movie? I mean, I can understand the family members being blonde, but good God, did the boyfriend and all the people around have to be blonde? Like it was just like, Jesus, so many.
Wasn't the daughter going to college?
And notice, okay, all the good people are blonde, all the bad people are brunettes or black hair,
Well,
dark
look at
hair.
you.
I know. Am I bad? I don't know. Like I'm dissing on the movie, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm a terrible. You know what? I'm
I
I'm
didn't
not.
notice that, but that's true.
Yeah, all the blonde people are. Daryl Hannah was a hero. Everybody had to have like a hero moment, except for the daughter. Daughter just cried, or whatever.
Exactly.
Cried for her daddy. That was it. And she's a good actress. She's been in like Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2, and a bunch of
Was
other
she?
movies. Yeah, I looked her up. Because I was like, she's a good actress. Too bad she's in the shitty movie. And like the grandma, like bit and
The
stuff.
grandma
Just like
bit is funny.
like my favorite little scene. I just remember this is like the daughter's talking to the grandma, right? And they're just chatting with each other, and then she goes, "I think Pastor whatever likes you," and she goes, "Oh," and she's like, "You blushing?" And I'm like, "You want your grandma to be set up with the pastor? What the? That's so weird, like I don't know, man." And then the pastor had to help her into the water, and it was like, when in the baptism, like, why does he have to help? Like, what is going on here with the grandma? It was so weird. Such a strange movie. But
Oh yeah, strange for sure.
all in all, I would say if it's on Sci-Fi Channel and you got nothing else to do, watch it. You know,
Yeah.
if you got nothing else to do, watch that movie. But if you have a million other things to do or better movies are on, just don't watch it, because it's not. I don't
Just
know if
put it
I'll
on for
ever. I don't know if
background
I'll
noise.
ever watch it again. Literally, I don't know.
I mean, I won't watch it again unless we do it for Shitty Shark Show.
Yeah, like
I mean,
I.
there's no other reason for me to watch it again. Like, again, like, you could have a party and put it on. Just
Uh,
while you're conversing, while you're doing other things. It's not a background movie to have on.
yeah,
That's about it. You don't want to watch it and really pay attention again. And I watched it in two settings as well. I
I
watched
did
about
it in.
90 minutes or so the first night and then went to bed and I finished it the next day. Because all at
Yeah,
once is too much. If you split it up, it's not as bad.
yeah. If you do like half and a half or something, like an
Yeah.
hour and a half,
I
you do
kind
an
of
hour and a
wish it
half, which
was
is
split into two parts, like, Peter Benchley's Creature was. I had
or
part one and part two.
like it. I think
Yeah,
like
exactly. I
you
love
know
it. That's another great miniseries. So
That could
many
have been
Stephen
like,
King
see,
miniseries.
that's a way to do a shark movie, is do it like that, because like that would be a cool shark movie, kind of like how it was, where they're
Yeah.
trying to destroy Pennywise, but they're trying to destroy the shark. So like it's the same shark that comes back for them, like 20 years later, you
Yeah.
know? and like they're grown-ups now, and they have to, like, 30-year-olds, they have to deal with this like shark that ate one of their friends, and now they're, and
See,
now
now we got a great idea. That's like
they
Jaws the Revenge
sort of
ish.
sort of like it, but you
Whenever the new It movies came out, I was disappointed Asylum didn't put out a movie called Clown Shark or something to rip off It.
I mean, clown sharks still could get made, I guess.
I mean, I think it should.
I would change the title though to Shark Clown. I think that sounds
There
better.
we go.
Just for some reason, clown shark just sounds way too
Stupid.
silly, way too silly.
Yeah,
But Shark
exactly.
Clown sounds like a lot more fun. Like I would watch. I would watch a movie called Shark Clown. I would
So would
watch a movie called uh well, I mean, there's just a ton of different movies, but yeah, was it a it version of Shark,
yeah,
or
that's what I want in my life.
yeah, see, there you go. See, there's that movie. You get, Shark Clown, and I don't know how you would do it though. How you would make the would the shark look like a clown? Like would he have like a little thing on his head or whatever, and like I mean, already Pennywise has some nasty ass teeth. So
Yeah.
I can imagine like, you know, the shark looking really fierce, but I don't know if I could take it really that seriously. Like, I mean, maybe that would be a fun part of it, is like it's not taken seriously. I don't know.
Well, I don't think a movie called The Shark Clown would be taken seriously at all.
All right, Shark Clown. That's coming to you from Necro Shark Films, right?
Big Shark Films, we got it.
I would put, hey, if that was an Indiegogo, I'd put money on that for
Who
real.
wouldn't?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
probably a lot of people wouldn't, but a lot of people would too.
If people can get through all of this whole podcast and hear that, somebody's stealing this idea. That's happening. We'd have to like trademark that shit already, like copyright it. Because if somebody actually made it through all of this, they're going, that's a fucking badass idea. I'm making that, Oh my goodness. Because I mean, why not, right?
Exactly. There's all other types of shark movies. Why not?
God, I can't wait for my Sharks of the Corn Blu-ray.
I watched it last night.
We'll talk about that after the show.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for this. This is awesome. I think we got a lot covered on it. And for a 2-hour and 39-minute movie, there's a lot to discuss. But most of it was like them like in the freaking town hall and shit.
Exactly.
And showed me
discussing whatever with the guy trying to make hotels and stuff.
And he's like,
arguing.
He's not making you, he's stealing from you guys. And like, they're like, no, he's making us money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what's the point? What does this have to do with the shark swarm? Huh? What is going on? Like, we're
just filler.
No, it's
you know what part I like when Daryl Hannah, she meets with Kane. Was it Kane or the other guy?
I think she met with Lux.
I got him mixed up. Yeah. And like he's showing her the model or whatever, and she like flips over the table, all badass.
Oh, but my favorite scene was after that, when she's at home and she tries to talk to John Schneider about it, and he's like, "Oh, never mind, I've got to go." And he starts like taking off, and she's like, "But no, like I've got to tell you, like she was trying to tell him that she like told the guy to fuck off, and the whole time he's like all mad at her, like, how dare you take an appointment without me?
I know, he was so upset. She took a meeting with him, and he wouldn't even listen to what she had to say about it.
I'm like, God, what a terrible husband, Jesus! Like, good God,
they did seem like their relationship was pretty rocky, I think.
Yeah, well, no, because their relationship was like, I thought the relationship was like, they loved each other. I thought like they were
something was going on there. I don't know.
Was it? Because I don't know. Because I did not see anything until that scene happened, and then I was like, that came out of nowhere to me. Like, I don't know. It made no sense. I was like, that tone shifted? Like, because I know he's mad at the guy, but at least listen to his wife tell him, like,
Pretty funny.
especially if she had told him she had decided to take Lux on his up on his offer or something, right? That's
Yeah.
the way to be stormed off. Like, oh my God, how dare you agree to that? You know? But like she didn't even finish her sentence, and he was like, wait, you talked to him without me? How dare you? Our marriage is 50-50. Let me storm off here and not hear a word you have to say. And I was just like, this is just bullshit. This
Oh
like
yeah.
it was just literally another filler scene. Because like right after that, what happened right after that? Like the next scene between them. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I stormed off on you, blah blah blah, I should have listened to you." And I'm like, wait, what? What did I miss? Like it feels like that. Like this is like either they got a bipolar relationship or something like is wrong with the script. Like I don't know.
Something's wrong with the script.
I'm gonna guess that's what the case was. Oh
Yeah.
God. Anyway, all right, that's it. That's all we had to say. If you guys stayed through it, thank you. You guys got an awesome idea for a movie. Hopefully, either one of us makes it, or if you guys make it, we'll definitely help fund it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shark Clown is amazing sounding. I would definitely buy that movie.
Me too.
Yeah, I love shark movies just as much as you. I was trying last year to do a movie called or a series called Shark Attack Sundays for Indie Film Cafe. And I was gonna do that, but we decided not to because we did a couple, but we just chose to kind of
Yeah.
put them in these things, and all the other ones. So if we do bring back Shark Attack Sunday, there are so many shark movies out there that
So many
and
amazing ones. So
I'll
many
have to
terrible
have you
ones.
come back on as
Oh
another
hell
guest.
yeah. I love shark movies.
Well, I know
Obviously.
you do, and I love them too as much. So I love discussing them because some of them are just flat out ridiculous. Like, and you would think like a movie with Daryl Hannah and all of them would be not so ridiculous. You would have thought that Daryl Hannah would have saw the script and been like, "No, we got to make this better." But I guess she just was like, "How much are you paying me?" Okay.
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh no,
That's
that
what.
literally is how it is. Like most actors,
Yeah.
in these movies, Gary Busey, probably Eric Roberts, a lot of them are just like, "You pay me that, I can be in your movie." All right, and then they
I
go,
remember.
they're the
I think
best in the movie. Right?
Eddie Murphy did a stand up. I think on SNL or whatever, and he was talking about Best Defense and how terrible the script was. But he was like, "You're paying me how much? Let's go."
How much was which movie?
Best Defense, which I've never seen, but
I never even heard of it.
well, I guess for a good reason.
I don't know. I'm disappointed now because I want to see Coming to America, and I also saw the black the God, was it Black Dynamite or whatever the guy's name was? The one that he did. I think that's what it was. Whatever. I thought it was great.
He wasn't in Black
No, it
Dynamite.
wasn't Black Dynamite. What was the movie? God, now it's Eddie Murphy, and we're on a shark movie, which he should be in a shark movie too. Like he
I
could play
can't
the
wait to watch
shark.
Coming
He
to
could play
America.
the hero and the shark.
Yes.
Because that's what he does. Dolomite. Dolomite is my name. So.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one. I've heard good things.
Yep. So, all right. Well, we're done with this episode. Eddie Murphy playing the hero, the villain, and the shark. Do it. I say
With Kane Hodder as
with
well.
Kane Hodder as one of the heroes. So there you go. All right, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, check it out on the 1st and 15th of the month, all the way up to August. We are doing the first season of Maneaters series. So keep checking back with these things and see which one we have next. Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. God damn.
Are you ready?
I don't know. Hold on.